Hello, everybody. Happy Friday, and welcome to the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Show. And as you guys know, on Fridays, you get me. And let me share something with you today I heard a ton about this week. So, in about 15 minutes or so, I'm going to share with you how uncertainty anything can change in a kitchen or frankly in any leadership role. So how quickly can things unravel from broken equipment, missing staff, delayed deliveries? Chaos in the kitchen can strike at any moment. And I'm here to tell you it doesn't need to be that way. There's a few things you can do to accommodate this. Again, my name is Christian. I'm the host of the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Show. And today we will cover the resilience of mindset combination with adaptive leadership. I also want to share a little bit about creative resources when something you can take advantage of when vanish or staff vanishes. How to build a culture which stays calm under any pressure. There should be something for every kitchen. And then daily habits that keep you not just grounded, but keep you focused on what's important to you. And then a rapid case study of showing it all in action. So let me ask you, how many times do you hear about mindset or leadership, especially about adaptive leadership? And for me, it's one of those things I heard a lot until I started reading up on it, because panic never solved any problems. So picture this: it's 5 p.m., 30 minutes before dinner service, and your fryer just died. At the same time, your fish delivery never showed up, and you have got only one working grill, and somebody from your line called out sick. Is this a panic station, right? Or do you instantly spiral down into chaos? Or do you need to focus on what you can control? And for me, that's so important, because you need to ask yourself the question, what is one actionable step I can take right now? Maybe you still have sweet potatoes in your wok, and instead of fries you can do baked sweet potato wedges. Or if your grill doesn't work, maybe you can do something like maple glazed in the oven. But for me, the reason I bring this up, because how often does this happen to you? And I admit it's a natural impulse, and for me, you want to fix it, or kind of spiral down when everything goes wrong. But when you zero in on a resource, or if you look at what are some of the leftover things you have, or what is one of the problem solving mode out there. So listen, let me step back. I will never forget a Philly chef of mine who has lost beef in a shipment. And it was the night before a big steak promotion. Instead of canceling it, no, he roasted carrots. He roasted some really amazing vegetables. He did herb blender, and he did so many cool little things. And he had what he called a roasted carrot steak. I absolutely love that. And not only did I love it, it showed that constraint spark creativity. And that for me is just a really big wow. How often did that happen to you? You can spiral down, or something even simpler. How about your POS system goes down? Or you're on with IT, in the meanwhile, you switch to handwritten tickets. And when you call them out, the guys in the kitchen don't really know anymore. They have to rethink how this works with having it called out. For me, the level of clarity, and so let me step back. This is a problem, but you can have an immediate workaround. And all you need to do is communicate. So what's happening? It's confusion if you kind of let it go. But what matters most is the transparency, or a transparent plan of attack, however you impact that, or what is the communication you send out immediately. So for me, the reason I'm talking about this, because this happens so often. The worst thing you can do is freeze, hoping that an ideal solution arrives. So what you need to do is quickly pivot, because it buys you time, it buys you sanity. And you know what? Done beats perfect when uncertainty is closing in. So for me, there's one thing I learned is you need to rally your team, pick a simple mantra, one concise phrase that encapsulates what you're about to do or your final approach. Is adapt, create, deliver. I'm just making this up. Before every service, and say it out loud, because what is your phrase? When things go sideways, we in the kitchen repeat adapt, create, and deliver. Everybody knows exactly what you mean. It honestly adjusts, it innovates, and gets service out. And for me, the reason I brought this up, because it happens too often. And if you find ways to solve these issues in creative, resourceful, because I honestly believe if we move into creative resourcefulness, because when your primary supplier fakes out, and it happens all the time, or one of you guys in the kitchen calls out sick, or something else, backup fails. First up, scan, repurpose, and what you already have. There is a friend of mine who calls it the pantry treasure map. Every Monday morning he walks through the walk-in, he looks at the shelf, he looks at dry storage, and that's what becomes for him what he calls a hidden asset when something goes wrong. And for me, I always love that, because it gives you a backup map. And he always said, hey, if I do this, 99% no problems. But if a problem arrives, we can have, he call it a spring pea and spinach biscuit, because that's what he called it, what he had last night. So for me, the reason I'm saying that is because we sometimes forget what is important. We forget, why do people come here? And if you tell creatively, wait staff, hey, this dish is not available today, but the chef made something amazing to replace it. You have something ready to step in and have the staff sell it to your client. It's really, really important, because for me, especially plan B about vendor list, is exactly that, because local partners become your lifeline in crisis. And when everything else is waiting for the interstate to clear, your CSA can often have it delivered on side roads. And the agility is gold when uncertainty is on the menu. And for me, the reason I'm saying that, because we sometimes get so caught up in what is the problem versus what can I deliver. Because if you can deliver or build a staff on resilient, and it's just not building on resilience, it's build a resilient culture, because the best habits fall sometimes flat when things are on edge. Because we try to share values, we try to share a one-line mantra, sometimes it just doesn't work. So what does work? Own it. And the reason I'm saying own it is because it's for you to fix the mess instead of struggling away. And for me, supply chain is one of those things, because for me, things can happen at all times. And the reason I'm bringing this up, because I want you, as the chef, as the dining manager or the restaurant owner, be prepared, because things happen all the time. The way it works out is the way I communicate within the kitchen, the way I communicate to the front of the house staff, and how I communicate to the clients. Because sometimes clients come in with a preconceived, I know I want to have this thing because they do an amazing job at it. But if your staff does an amazing job on selling them on something new, or have a quick role assignment or known constraints, it is the one thing which can make a good restaurant great. Because sometimes those little things do happen. And when they happen is how we react to it. Because if you get frustrated, it shows throughout the facility. It shows throughout the kitchen. It shows throughout the restaurant. And when you have unexpected challenges, how did you face them today? Because for me, it's all about not just what happens, it's how I react to it. The fridge runs 10 degrees warm, and you just don't know what to do. The dishwasher is not working. The dishwasher guy called out. So for me, all of those things do happen. And I sometimes think the universe does this to put obstacles in your place, not just to make sure you prepared. But if you take yourself the time to build those backup plans, I use the sweet potato baked potato chips, or if you have a maple glazed chili or whatever you want to have, or if you have somebody who could be a repair tech, things do happen. And for me, there's 4 things you can do about it. The first one is around mindset, and we talk about mindset all the time. Focus on what salvaged resources you have, not just whatever's broken. Very important. Focus on all the great things you have besides what is broken or somebody called out sick. What is adaptive leadership? Admit the problem. Share a quick walk around and keep communications tight, because your staff will know if you get frustrated, because they will show. And if you hit that, you need to remember how resourceful you are, because the pantry hacks turn sweet potatoes into the hit of the night. And then we always have to have what we called a calm protocol. What is the 5 seconds of collecting, not just your breathing? How can I collect myself and know this is happening? Keep breathing, 5-10 minds. And for me, there was this meditation method, and it was called My Part, My Body, My Solution. And for me, I always set it in my mind, because uncertainty isn't an automatic loss. Number one, it's an opportunity for you to showcase what your team can not just do and achieve under pressure, is what they made of. And sometimes those little things become the things they're talking about. And that's what they keep referring back to. So I have 5 things I want to kind of bring full circle. Because number one, the most important thing is mindset and how adaptive leadership works. Focus on what you control. Lead with transparency. Make micro decisions quickly. You heard it said, make decisions quick and change your mind slowly. That works really, really well. And then have that solution, or what we call creative resourcefulness. Map your pantry, cross-train your staff, and lean into supplier chain. And lean into that any of those primary vendors can fail. We talk a lot about resilient culture and calm protocols, and that's one of the things, that's really around shared values. And if you pause the protocol you have going for that day, but if you celebrate small wins and keep the moral high, you have a winner on your hands. And the 4th thing is about daily habits. If you do a morning huddle, afternoon huddle, evening huddle, whatever it is, a midday stress out audit, or at the end after they do a reflection journal, and catch patterns that prevent you from repeating crisisness. Because for me, I always laugh about this. So often, if this happens once, it kind of brings you into that funnel where you just get really negative. And sometimes it happens and then it keeps happening until you fix it. Did that ever happen to you? It certainly did to me. And then have that little case study, whatever you want to call it. How can sweet potato wedges, now have that 5 second of breathing turnaround thing? Because, or sometimes sold out. It's as simple as that. So if you have mindset, if you have resourcefulness, if you have that resilient culture and calm protocols, if you have a daily routine, and if you have a case study from what happened, that's all you need. And sometimes we get caught up on that because if you want to go deeper in any of that, it's really important for you to kind of pick up patterns and see, hey, how do I react when something like this happens? We used to do weekly leadership stream meetings, and we talked about, hey, what happened to you in your kitchen this week? And it was funny what some of the people said. There was somebody who brought up, they call it crisis-proof kitchen. And somebody else said, hey, the 5 or 10 habits, they keep you grounded. It's crazy for me to think that used to throw off the whole day, and it doesn't need to. Because for me, the most amazing thing we have in this industry is to listen, to stay resilient, to keep cooking forward, to provide a great service, and make our clients happy. And for me, those are the 5 things which we need to focus on. And things do happen. It's how we react on it. It's what going to make all the difference. How does it affect you, not just at that moment? How does it affect you for the rest of the night? If your steak doesn't show up, or if your carrots are the wrong way, or your fryer later doesn't turn on, or somebody calls out sick, have those little things ready for yourself. Have a backup plan because things do happen every day. And that's why cross-training is as important as it is. And for me, I overlay 3 things. The first thing is you, because you are the one who makes this whole thing go around. If you fall into a negative spiral, so is everybody else. So focus you on you. The second thing is, what are you going to do about it? And what is the feedback loop in the end? Because how great would it be if you have no carrots and you replace it with something else? And at the end of the night, you sit there and you talk to your staff and say, hey, this happened. This is how we mitigate it. What can we do so this doesn't happen? If this happens again, what can we do? And arm your staff with tools they can use, with tools they can use to drive not just the business forward, but set them up for success. Because if they ever own their own place, if they ever become executive chefs, they might have the same problem. And at the end of the day, it's exactly that. We're not flying things out of space. We're not curing cancer with food. Hopefully, someday we do. But the amazing thing is we provide clients with a great experience. And I like to call it that we are architects of memories. Because if we have a great way on solving that little issue, the clients will never forget. And sometimes those are the best things, because now when I sit here and I think back of things we had, and a friend of mine just asked me the other day, hey, what were some of the crazy things that happened to you? And we talked about, hey, we did this dinner up in upstate New York, 5,500 people, and somebody broke 462 plates, which were the dessert plates, okay? So little things like this is what we're talking about. And there's many days we did amazing meals. I don't remember that because that didn't push me to grow. And those little things, I want you to remember. I use kitchen examples today, but any of this thing could happen to you at any place. It's how you react. Have a plan around it and have a feedback loop. Because for me, that's really, really important. So everybody knows what we went through, how we fixed it. Because if somebody does become a chef or a leader in any other facility, they will thank you. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. So with that, I want to say thanks for being here today. Thanks for listening, my little panda, around how you can have yourself armed, because things will happen. And I want to say thanks for being here today. To our listeners, God, that be disruptive. And we see you next Friday. Thanks, everybody.